In a galaxy filled with wonders and dangers, Earth had always stood as a beacon of hope and peace. Its people valued diplomacy and kindness, believing that cooperation was the path to a brighter future. But on one fateful day, everything changed. During a meeting meant to strengthen ties between Earth and the Galactic Empire, a tragedy unfolded. A small human child named Alex, full of laughter and curiosity, accompanied his parents to the gathering. He loved exploring the grand halls of the Empire's space station, filled with strange creatures and advanced technology. Alex's innocent excitement brought smiles to many faces, including those of the alien delegates. However, beneath the polished surface of the Empire lay a dark truth. The Galactic Empire, known for its strict rule and iron-fisted control, saw humans as inferior. They believed that humans were weak and would not fight back. As discussions proceeded, tensions began to rise. A minor disagreement sparked anger among the Empire's leaders. In a fit of rage, one of them, a high-ranking general, grabbed his weapon and fired at a nearby window, the blast echoing throughout the chamber. In the chaos, the little boy stood too close. In an instant, a stray bolt struck Alex, and he collapsed to the floor. The laughter faded into a chilling silence. Shocked gasps filled the air as the reality of the situation set in. Alex's parents rushed to him, but it was too late. The child they loved was gone, snuffed out by the careless rage of the Empire. News of Alex's death spread across Earth like wildfire. Social media erupted with shock and outrage. People shared stories of Alex, his dreams, and his kindness. The hashtags, Justice for Alex and Our Earth United, trended worldwide. Humanity was heartbroken, but they were also filled with a fierce anger that had been dormant for too long. Earth's leaders gathered for an emergency meeting. In a high-security bunker filled with the hum of technology, they faced one another with grim expressions. The president of Earth, a strong-willed woman named Maria, stood before them, her voice steady but filled with emotion. This was not just the death of a child. It was an attack on all of us. We must not let this act of cruelty go unanswered. The leaders listened intently as Maria revealed a shocking secret. Earth had a hidden fleet of 700,000 dreadnoughts, powerful warships from a forgotten era. These ships had been built during a time of great strife when humanity fought for survival. Since then, they had been kept in secret, waiting for a moment when their power was truly needed. Now is that moment, Maria declared, her eyes blazing with determination. We will awaken the fleet and show the Galactic Empire that they have made a grave mistake. We will protect our own. As the leaders strategized, emotions ran high. Anger mixed with grief, creating a powerful resolve. They knew the risks of war, but they also understood that this was not just about revenge. It was about justice for Alex and every human who had ever been harmed. Meanwhile, the Galactic Empire celebrated what they believed was a minor victory. They dismissed the anger from Earth, thinking it would fade away. They had underestimated humanity's spirit for too long. Their arrogance blinded them to the storm brewing in the depths of space. Back on Earth, preparations began in earnest. Engineers and technicians worked around the clock to reactivate the Dreadnoughts. They understood the stakes. Every ship was a testament to humanity's resilience and strength. As the fleet began to awaken, the once quiet spaceports became buzzing hubs of activity. The people of Earth felt a shift. The anger that had once felt powerless now transformed into a fierce unity. They were ready to stand together against the Galactic Empire. The loss of Alex had ignited a fire in their hearts, and it was a fire that would not be extinguished. As the first dreadnoughts powered up and began to rise from their hidden docks, the galaxy would soon learn that Earth was not to be underestimated. Humanity was ready to fight back. In the days following the tragedy, Earth was a different place. Grief filled the hearts of its people, but that grief quickly transformed into a powerful desire for justice. As the news of young Alex's death spread, it sparked an anger that united humanity. They had long been seen as peaceful, but now they were ready to show the galaxy their strength. As the sun set over Earth, a new chapter was about to begin. The hidden fleet of 700,000 dreadnoughts, once silent and still, was now coming to life. The air buzzed with excitement and tension as engineers, technicians, and military leaders worked day and night. The world was watching, and hope filled every heart. In the vast command center deep underground, the walls glowed with screens displaying the fleet's status. Rows of dedicated personnel monitored systems, ensuring everything was ready for the moment of awakening. President Maria stood at the front, her presence commanding respect. "Today we show the galaxy who we are. Today we reclaim our power." Her words resonated with everyone in the room. Across the planet, people gathered in front of screens, their eyes wide with anticipation. Families huddled together, friends linked arms, and communities united. The message was clear. They were no longer alone. As the countdown began, a wave of energy swept through the crowd, igniting their spirit. 3, 2, 1. The command center erupted in cheers as the first dreadnought powered up. Massive engines roared to life and bright lights flickered on the ships. One by one, the vessels began to rise from their hidden locations. The sight was awe-inspiring. A magnificent fleet taking to the stars, shining like beacons of hope against the dark backdrop of space. The dreadnoughts were a sight to behold. Each ship was a floating fortress covered in thick armor and armed with powerful weapons. As they ascended, they formed a grand formation, their silhouettes cutting through the atmosphere. The sound of engines roared like thunder echoing across the land. In the command center, officers took their positions. They had trained for this moment, each person ready to play their part in the mission. Tactical maps lit up with targets and routes as they planned their first strike against the Galactic Empire. The mood was electric. Fear was replaced with determination. As the dreadnoughts broke through the atmosphere and entered space, the crew cheered. They were no longer just engineers or soldiers. They were a united force, a family ready to fight for their home. Each ship was equipped with advanced technology, allowing them to communicate seamlessly. The fleet was a well-oiled machine, ready to respond to any command. Back on Earth, the excitement continued to grow. News channels broadcast live footage of the fleet, showing the majestic ships soaring through the skies. People celebrated in the streets, chanting slogans and waving flags. The mood was one of defiance, and the world stood together as a single entity. Meanwhile, in the Galactic Empire, officials were oblivious to the danger approaching them. They believed Earth to be weak, and the news of the fleet awakening was dismissed as a hollow threat. High-ranking officers laughed and toasted to their supposed victory, unaware that humanity was gathering its strength. As the fleet gathered in the dark void of space, Maria addressed the crew through the ship's communication systems. "Today we stand as one. Today we fight for Alex and for every human who has suffered. We will show the Empire that they cannot take what is ours." Her voice echoed with passion and resolve, igniting a fire in everyone's hearts. The dreadnoughts moved into formation, readying themselves for their first mission. They were no longer just machines. They were symbols of humanity's strength and unity. The crew felt a surge of pride, knowing they were part of something greater than themselves. With everything in place, the first orders were given. The dreadnoughts engaged their warp drives, propelling them into the depths of space. They were headed towards the Galactic Empire's stronghold, a place where they would send their message loud and clear. As the fleet advanced, a sense of calm mixed with adrenaline filled the air. The crew members prepared their weapons, checked their systems, and exchanged glances filled with determination. They were ready to reclaim their honor and avenge the loss of an innocent child. Earth had awakened a sleeping giant, and now the galaxy would witness the power of humanity's hidden fleet. The stage was set for a confrontation that would change the course of history forever. As the dreadnoughts soared through the stars, their mission became clear. Justice would be served. As the fleet of dreadnoughts surged through space, the Galactic Empire remained blissfully unaware of the storm approaching. High-ranking officials were busy celebrating what they believed was a victory over the weak humans. They laughed and raised their glasses, confident that Earth would not dare to retaliate. They had misjudged humanity for too long. In a grand meeting hall aboard the Empire's flagship, a group of generals gathered around a holographic display. They discussed their plans for expanding their control over the galaxy. General Kyle, a powerful and ruthless leader, slammed his fist on the table. "Those foolish humans think they can challenge us? They are nothing! We will crush them!" Laughter echoed through the room as the generals mocked Earth's capabilities. They pointed to the holographic map, dismissing Earth as a tiny, insignificant dot among the stars. "Let them awaken their old ships," one general scoffed. "They'll be easy prey for our forces." Meanwhile, aboard the dreadnoughts, the crew prepared for their first strike. Each ship was filled with eager faces, each person fueled by the desire for justice. President Maria's speech still resonated in their hearts, reminding them of why they fought. The crew knew the risks, but they were ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. As the Dreadnoughts entered the territory of the Galactic Empire, they activated their stealth systems, making them nearly invisible to enemy sensors. The Dreadnoughts glided silently, an ocean of metal poised to unleash their fury. The crew monitored their instruments, tracking the Empire's ships, which floated carelessly nearby, unaware of the danger lurking in the shadows. Suddenly, an alarm blared. "Enemy ships detected!" shouted a technician. The crew sprang into action, adrenaline coursing through their veins. Maria's voice came through the ship's communication system. "Prepare for engagement! Let's show them what we can do!" In the Empire's command center, the alarms rang out, but it was too late. The Dreadnoughts emerged from the darkness like a pack of wolves, their powerful weapons locking onto the unsuspecting enemy vessels. The Empire's officers scrambled to understand what was happening. They had no time to react as the first wave of blasts erupted from the Dreadnoughts. Explosions lit up the void of space as the Dreadnoughts unleashed their firepower. Turrets whirred to life, firing plasma beams and missiles that struck the Empire's ships with deadly accuracy. The once untouchable fleet of the Empire was caught off guard, their pride turning to panic as chaos erupted around them. General Kale stared in disbelief as his ships were targeted one by one. "What is happening? How could they have done this?" he roared, fury overtaking his shock. His subordinates scrambled to get their ships into formation, but the humans were relentless. The Dreadnoughts moved with precision and speed. Each vessel communicated seamlessly, sharing information about enemy positions and weaknesses. The humans fought as one, their unity a powerful force against the Empire's arrogance. As the battle raged on, the crew of the Dreadnoughts felt an exhilarating rush. They had trained for this moment, and it was finally here. Each successful hit on an enemy ship sent cheers echoing through the corridors. They were not just fighting for revenge, they were fighting for their families, their friends, and for every human who had ever suffered at the hands of the Empire. Meanwhile, the Empire's response was disorganized. In their arrogance, they had underestimated humanity's resolve. Their ships fell quickly, unable to match the firepower and strategy of the Dreadnoughts. Panic spread through the ranks as they struggled to regain control of the situation. Back on Earth, people watched the battle unfold on their screens. They cheered and cried, filled with pride for their fleet. The tide had turned, and humanity was finally fighting back. The world had come together, united in the fight against the Galactic Empire. As the first wave of the Empire's ships fell, General Kale's anger boiled over. He realized too late that he had made a grave mistake. He had not only underestimated the humans, but also dismissed their spirit. Now, as his fleet crumbled, he faced the consequences of his arrogance. The Dreadnoughts pressed on, relentless and fierce. They had awakened not just a fleet, but the spirit of humanity itself. The Galactic Empire's days of dominance were numbered, and they were about to learn a powerful lesson: never underestimate the heart of humanity. In a hidden bunker deep underground, Earth's leaders gathered. The room buzzed with tension as they discussed their next steps. President Maria stood at the front, her face set in determination. "We have a powerful weapon at our disposal," she announced, her voice strong. "It's time to reveal our hidden fleet." The room fell silent as the leaders exchanged glances, a mix of disbelief and hope swirling in the air. Maria continued, "For years we kept the fleet a secret, but now we must awaken it. The Galactic Empire needs to know that they have crossed a line. The fleet of 700,000 dreadnoughts had been built in a time of war. When humanity faced its darkest days, these ships were crafted to protect and defend. They had been stored in various hidden locations, beneath mountains, deep in oceans, and even on the far side of the moon. They were giant, powerful vessels, capable of incredible destruction, waiting silently for the right moment to be unleashed. As the leaders made their plans, a team of engineers began working tirelessly. Their job was to reactivate the dreadnoughts, bringing them back to life. These ships had not been used for generations, but the engineers were skilled and determined. They knew that time was of the essence. In the days that followed, the once quiet spaceports became lively centers of activity. Workers rushed to their tasks, their faces filled with purpose. The sound of machinery echoed in the halls as dreadnoughts were pulled from their hiding spots, one by one. Each ship was a marvel of engineering, with thick armor and powerful weaponry that had once been the pride of Earth. As the dreadnoughts powered up, people across the globe felt a surge of hope. They gathered in parks and streets, watching live broadcasts of the fleet being awakened. Excitement spread like wildfire, igniting a sense of unity. This was no longer just about vengeance. It was about standing together as one people. Maria made a speech that echoed across the world. Today we reclaim our power. Today we show the Galactic Empire that they cannot silence us. We will fight for our future and for every child on this planet. Cheers erupted as her words filled the air. People waved flags and held up signs declaring their support. Meanwhile, the Galactic Empire continued to underestimate Earth. They thought the humans would retreat into their sadness, but they were wrong. In their arrogance, the Empire believed that no one could challenge them. They continued their celebrations, oblivious to the storm brewing in the darkness. As the dreadnoughts were completed, they took to the stars. The massive ships formed a stunning fleet, each one glowing with life and purpose. Humans watched in awe as their technological marvels rose into the sky, ready for action. In the command center of the fleet, officers trained and prepared for battle. They understood the stakes. Every officer had a personal connection to Alex's story, and the desire for justice fueled their resolve. They studied the Empire's tactics, seeking any advantage they could find. The dreadnoughts were equipped with advanced weapon systems, and the humans were ready to outsmart their enemies. As the final preparations were made, the atmosphere was charged with anticipation. The humans were no longer just victims. They were warriors ready to defend their home. The fleet had awakened, and Earth was prepared to show its might. In the coming days, a message would be sent to the Galactic Empire, a warning that would shake them to their core. Earth was ready to strike back, and this time, the galaxy would know the true power of humanity. The hidden fleet had become the secret weapon, and its awakening was just the beginning of a new chapter in the fight for justice. The battle in the depths of space raged on, the stars lighting up with explosions and flashes of energy. The dreadnoughts of Earth, once hidden and silent, now unleashed their fury upon the Galactic Empire. This was not just a fight, it was humanity's fight for justice, a reckoning for all the pain they had endured. General Kale watched in disbelief as his fleet fell apart before his eyes. Ships that had once been symbols of power were now drifting wrecks, consumed by fire and destruction. He felt a cold grip of fear tighten around his heart. The humans had awakened a power he had never anticipated. Aboard the lead dreadnought, the crew was filled with adrenaline. Captain Rhea, a fierce leader known for her bravery, stood at the command console, her eyes scanning the chaos around them. "Stay focused," she shouted. "We can't let up now! For Alex!" The crew roared in agreement, their hearts burning with purpose. As the dreadnoughts moved in tight formation, they continued their assault. Plasma beams sliced through enemy ships, and missiles streaked through the void, leaving trails of fire. Each explosion echoed in the hearts of the crew, a reminder of what they fought for. They were not just seeking revenge, they were defending their home and honoring the memory of a lost child. Meanwhile, General Kale struggled to regain control of the situation. His officers were scrambling to regroup, but it was too late. The humans had coordinated their attacks with deadly precision. Every move the Empire made was countered with an even fiercer response from Earth's fleet. "Signal for reinforcements," Kale ordered, but his voice trembled. The fear among his crew was palpable, and he knew they had underestimated the human spirit. The Empire had long dismissed Earth as weak, but they were about to learn the truth. As the battle continued, a breakthrough occurred. Captain Rhea led a daring maneuver, breaking through the enemy's defenses. They targeted the flagship of the Empire where Kyle operated. "This is it! Let's finish this!" she cried. The dreadnoughts shifted their focus, preparing to strike the heart of the Empire's command. The flagship was a massive structure, heavily armed but now exposed. As the dreadnoughts closed in, Kale watched in horror. "Get us out of here!" he shouted, but it was too late. The dreadnoughts unleashed their full power, firing everything they had. The first hit was devastating, shaking the flagship to its core. Alarms blared as the crew struggled to maintain control. The pride of the Empire was now under siege, and it was crumbling fast. With each blast, the crew on the flagship felt the weight of their past mistakes. They had dismissed humanity, and now they were paying the price. Back on Earth, the world was glued to their screens. People cheered and held their breath as they watched their fleet fight for justice. The sense of unity was stronger than ever. Families embraced, knowing they were witnessing history. In the command center, President Maria monitored the battle. She felt a mixture of pride and anxiety. "We cannot stop until we secure our future," she said firmly, determination etched on her face. The world had come together to support their fleet, and she knew they would not back down. As the flagship of the Galactic Empire took more hits, Kale realized he had lost. Desperation seeped into his voice as he ordered a retreat, but it was too late. The Dreadnoughts pressed on, relentless and fierce. With one final mighty blow, the flagship erupted in a brilliant explosion, signaling the fall of the Empire's command. Cheers erupted across the galaxy as the Dreadnoughts claimed victory. The humans had fought bravely, their resolve unbreakable. Captain Rhea and her crew exchanged high fives and hugs, tears of joy mixing with their sweat. They had avenged Alex and shown the Empire the true strength of humanity. In the aftermath of the battle, the Galactic Empire was left reeling. They had underestimated Earth, and now they had lost more than just ships. They had lost their reputation. The galaxy would remember this day, the day humanity stood up and fought back. As the Dreadnoughts turned to head back to Earth, the crew felt a sense of pride and relief. They had unleashed their revenge, but they had also united as one people. Earth was no longer seen as weak. It had become a powerful force, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. With their victory, humanity had reclaimed its place in the galaxy, and the echoes of the past would guide them into a brighter future. The spirit of Alex lived on, a reminder of the strength that resided within every human heart.